Okay, so before I show you how to plan for our vegetable garden, I real quick had to pick our tomatoes because it's about to freeze tonight. It's going to get down in the 30s, maybe even lower 20s. So I had to get all the tomatoes picked, and so here's what I got. So we've got a lot of tomatoes now, more than I expected. Cool. Also have a few tomatillos I pulled off because they were not any good if they freeze either. Just dump these out. So as you can see, we have a lot of tomatoes. As you can see, some of them are just starting to ripen. We'll use all the green ones for sure. Make something with it. Maybe a green salsa. So there is our last harvest of the season. Okay, I'm going to show you how to plan your vegetable garden for the spring. First, you got to make a plan, and about this time of the year, I start receiving a lot of catalogs in the mail. Seed catalogs. Here's 3. These are the first 3 I have received. I usually get about 20 or 30 in the mail, but these are probably the ones I will order from. This one I've already placed an order for, the Baker Creek Heirloom seeds. They sell all heirloom, non-GMO, open pollinated seeds, non-hybrid, so that's what I'm looking for to do this year. There's a lot of debate over open pollinated versus hybrid versus non-GMO and GMO and all these things, but this is what I'm going to do this year. So we've got our catalogs here. This catalog is really great. If y'all want to check it out, I highly suggest this catalog to look through. As you can see, they have great photos and descriptions in their catalog. So anyways, this year I'm going to expand our vegetable garden a little bit. So I found this garden planner on the internet here, and let's take a look and see what we've got going on with that. Okay, so here's this garden planner I found on growveg.com. First year to try it out. It's pretty sophisticated. They give you a 30-day trial if you want to try it out. Subscription says it's $25 a year, I believe. But I'm just going to give it a quick test. I don't really use anything like this. We'll try it out this year first time. So here's what I've drawn out. As you can see, here's our standard bed here, the main garden that we've always had. Our asparagus bed, blackberry on the right, and our garlic and shallots that have already been planted. And then over here on the right side, this is what I'm planning on building here, is this new gardening bed on the right. It's pretty neat. We drawed it all out, measured it out, and now we can see what we're planning on and how I build it tomorrow. Frame it out with lumber and so on and so forth. It's pretty cool. If you lay out where you want your vegetables, it will tell you how many plants. If you see there, show me I can plant 22 tomatoes, which seems like a lot in this area. And then, you know, where our potatoes will be, how many plants we can plant there. Have our lettuce, how many plants? 16 plants. And I got my onions and pepper plants, 10. If we look over here to the new section, we got our summer squash, yellow squash, it says. In this zone, I could plant 9 plants and so on. So, you know, it's a guide. I don't know if I'll go strictly by this, but one tool you can use if you like to plan your vegetable garden. And then once you got your garden all laid out, this little software will let you know when it's time to plant or sow your seeds indoors, when to plant them outside, and when your harvest time is for your different items that you have planted in your garden, which is pretty cool. I don't think I'll really use this that much, but maybe if you're a beginner starting in the garden, this would be a good tool to start with. So there you have another tool to use to plan your new veggie garden for the spring. So as you can see, here's the original plans for our vegetable garden. This is 20 feet across up top, and down it's 26 feet long. So it's 26 by 20 feet. And then we have our asparagus bed on the right, or the left. Asparagus is on the left. And then we have our blackberries, which are on the right. And that bed is approximately a 10 by 4 section. Each asparagus bed is 10 by 4, and the blackberries are 10 by 4. So, and then to the right of this is where we'll add our new bed. Okay, so as you can see, here's the main vegetable bed here that I've always had. And this year we're going to add a new bed here to the right. And in the future maybe we might add some more garden beds, but I think this is a big enough expansion for this year. So as you can see, a little bit of work to do. We're going to have to load in a lot of compost and organic matter to improve the soil. But I first had to come to the diagram. This is our sprinkler diagram here. I had to figure out where our sprinklers were located so I can add this new flower bed right here to the right. So I wanted to make sure I had sprinklers that would be able to cover this properly. I have to do a few minor adjustments for the gardening bed. Probably have to raise up some things and adjust the sprayers. We'll have to adjust and see what we got once we get it all put in and see how it's working. So that's one of the first steps I would highly recommend you do, is plan for being able to water. Make it easy on yourself. You have to have a easy system. Use a timer system, drip system, whatever. Have a timer on it instead of lugging sprinklers around every day or every other day whenever you need to water, which is a lot of work. Let it be easy for you. If it's easy for you, you will most definitely keep on gardening. So I wanted to show you all this. If you're lucky enough and have an old home, like we are, we found this in the mix of crap in the garage when we bought it. And this is, I believe, could be the original plans to the house. So I wanted to take a quick tour of this. So if we look here, this is the main house, most likely drawn in the 1950s. This is, I'm assuming, the original drawings. If you look here, we have the house and our garage. And this would be the backyard over here. This street is actually the main street running all the way up and down our street here right now. And there's houses all along here, along our line. So I believe this is the first house in this area. Most likely this people who ever owned it owned a lot of the land around here. But if we look a little bit closer, you can see they had probably a poultry stored here, labeled here a poultry fence, outlined here. And if we zoom out, you'll notice there is nothing else around the house. It is all by itself. So most definitely at one time our house was a farm of some sort, So as you can see, we know that we need to add a lot of nutrients to the soil. This land has been over-farmed, I'm sure. And add a lot of organic material like compost and whatnot. So there's just a little history lesson in our house, and what we do know about our house and the condition of the soil and what we have to work with now, knowing that it was most likely on a farm. And if we look here, we can see here is the house. This looks like to be a survey of some kind. And if we zoom out, you can see the lot of land that was once here. Much different than it is now, of course. This is a home residential area with homes up and down blocks. Here's the house. And this must have been a lot of land that it was once on. It says 4 acres. Here's another lot that's about 8 acres. 4.72 acres here. So a little bit of history of the house is always good to know. So you know what was here before. So over here we have from some seeds from the past years. Most of these are probably not any good. I left them out in the garage over the summer, so I'll probably be throwing most of these away. Ordered all new fresh seeds here, but so highly recommend you ordering fresh seeds if yours are several years old like mine are. I bought these probably about 3 years ago, so we'll be getting new seeds using the Heirloom open pollinated seeds, which will also be able to save our own seeds this year and reproduce the parent plant. Hybrid seeds you cannot save because they will not grow to the true plant as the parent plant did. So if you're trying to save seeds, make sure you're not saving the hybrid plants. So as you can see right now, it's dark outside. This time change, which I don't care for, it gets dark quite early. Limits the time outside to work in the garden. But so here's the main garden, and to the right here is where we will be adding the new flower bed, which you really can't see. It's a little dark over there. Okay, so tomorrow we'll start working on expanding our vegetable garden. Okay, so here's our new garden section we're gonna plant here. Gonna make a big addition to our garden this year. Probably gonna add a whole bunch of stuff this year. So this is how I frame up my vegetable garden, like we did previously several years ago, using some lumber and clearing out the grass here behind me. So here's the step-by-step process of starting your own vegetable garden if you like. This is from start to finish. Okay, so here we are gonna measure out the new garden section here. Cutting down the grass as low as I can there, scalping the grass, and then I'm taking this weed eater here and just literally bulldozing the grass off the top layer to the dirt level. I found this most effective way without having to actually shovel off layers of grass. And now we're just going to start cutting the boards to fit. This garden size is actually going to be 26 feet deep here and 7 feet wide. I'm using pressure treated wood actually. Nowadays, the treated wood does not contain any arsenic, so it is safe to use, much safer now than before, and a little more affordable than cedar wood. So now I've got it all framed up. I'm doing a light tilling here, making it easier to level off the framed up garden, trying to make it all squared up and level. Setting it down into the ground just a little bit. And there you have it. Alright, so here we have the new veggie garden all framed up. I lightly tilled it a little bit. And we'll be adding some compost soon.